I am a kid and I want money.
You are listening to The Instance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Instance. This is The Instance, episode 320. 320, only 100 more episodes till we're like the pot episode of The Instance. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. My name is Scott Johnson, and joining me today, we've got the Terpster. Hello, Terpster.
That'd be. I'm looking forward to 100 episodes from now.
Are you now?
100, because then we can do it on top of Everest, and we can say how high we are.
Fantastic. Your voice sounds like hell, by the way.
It does a little bit. It's good.
What's this? This is from yelling. You do another rap video.
No, this is well, I do a lot of rap videos, as you know, because I'm quite hip hop. But right. It's more so just I don't know. I think I've just picked up another bug. I just seem to be quite ill, sickly, and weak.
You're a disease magnet.
If I was a Spartan, I would have been thrown off the cliff. If I was an orc in Orgrimmar, right, Garrosh would have called me a weakling.
I would have kicked you in the belly, and you would have fallen down the well. What would have happened there?
Yeah, you would have said, "This is frog pants," and I would have been like, "Okay, that's not crazy. That's quite factual."
It's totally factual. Yeah. Also with us, Dills is back. Dills, welcome.
Hello.
It's good to have you, man. How you been?
Been a damn long time, and I'm glad to be back.
A couple weeks anyway, something like that.
Well, yeah. I feel like it's been longer. I feel like it's been a month or something.
Listen to your voice. You're sick too. Everybody's sick.
I'm just tired. That's all.
Okay.
I went to sleep way too late to be doing this this early. Yeah.
Well,
but that's fine. That's what happened.
I like you best when you're a little sleepy, to be honest.
I showed up last night to try to play a pool tournament, and that was probably a mistake on a Thursday. But you know what? Hey,
my understanding is you won, though. You actually...
No, I won my first match.
Oh, okay.
And then I lost.
And then all hell broke loose.
Yeah, I lost badly, too.
Is it a little bit like Vegas? Should you have stopped after that first victory?
I wish it was that easy, but unfortunately it's a tournament where once you pay your money...
But can't you just say, look... I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. I'm going to stick with my undefeated streak. And at the end, we'll see who's lost the least.
Yeah. Well, that's cool, though. Still busy taking over the pool world. I'm happy to see that. The billiards world.
Slowly, by the way. But you know what? I've actually gotten some response back, and some people do want to do a Nerdtacular pool tournament.
Oh, that's right. And we've got locations for that, we found out.
That's true. There's a pool table in the in the bar area there at the lodge. So we're doing it. I'm gonna make it happen, and we'll have some prizes to give out and stuff, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's way fun. That's a great little add-on there. We went and toured the facility last weekend, and it's looking awesome. Yeah,
I like that.
The place we're going. It's gonna be very exciting. I hear there'll be a number. I won't say who, because I don't think I'm allowed to say who, but there might be a number of Blizzard folk there, which would be fun, right? To have them around.
It's in the mountains, where blizzards often blow. Excuse me, that sounds wrong. Actually,
it does sound very wrong.
But it's where it can get snowy.
Yeah, very nice. I like what you've done with the place. All right, let's get moving here. I saw the third wing of Throne of Thunder.
Ooh.
And saw that in LFR. We're not ready. 10-man wise, we're not ready to do normal. But I'm still of the opinion that we are very trash heavy this patch. Endgame is a trash heap of trash to kill.
I do not like that.
Yeah, and it's not it's not that the game hasn't suffered from over trash before, and we've had this conversation many times on the show. And I'm not even saying that, eventually you get your head around the trash and you're more powerful than the trash, and then the trash becomes insignificant, or at least less significant in your overall progression on any given night. But as it stands right now, and even in LFR where things are, nerfed and buffed according to how this group runs and how LFR works, they're still it just feels way padded out. And I'm not, here's the funny thing, is I'm not hearing that generally, I'm not hearing a lot of outcry all over the place about this, so this may just be me. I'm willing to admit that, but my impression is I feel like I'm spending a lot of time killing stuff that's meaningless in the game.
Yeah, honestly, I like it when the trash mobs are like kind of a test, like a test towards, are you ready for this next encounter?
Right.
Like think about Precious and Stinky. Like that type of stuff was kind of you can't really kill these guys unless your party is skilled and geared enough to get past them and then kill the next 2 encounters. And those 2 things were interesting trash. What I do not like is I don't like the beginning of ICC where you're just gathering up mobs, AoEing them down. So if it's trash like that I don't like it at all.
Yeah.
If it's interesting stuff, then I'm all for it.
Well, there's a bit of both. There's a couple. There are encounters, trash encounters that are definitely not, they're not just kill it and gather them up and lay waste. It's not like that. It's a decent mix of those 2 things, but they're just long, and some of the health that some of these trash mobs have is ridiculous. It rivals that of some of the bosses you're gonna face, or at least it feels like it at the time. So I don't know. And like I said, it could be me, and it could be just my particular level of fatigue with what trash is supposed to be there for. And Terpster and I talked a little bit last week about the purpose of trash and whether or not the game is currently living up to that purpose. The encounters themselves, the actual boss encounters are great. I'm enjoying the mechanics, the look and the feel of that. All of that stuff in those wings is amazing, and they outdid themselves. And Greg Street on this show was not kidding when he said that we were going to see new stuff, new mobs, new animation, new spell effects, new stuff on the walls, things we haven't seen before, and it's pretty rad. But it's just, you feel like you're just digging through so much fluff to get to them, and it's just a time killer. So I don't know. Again, when you get geared and the content becomes more on farm and stuff like that, it's less of an issue. I remember Dills, we'd run Ulduar, and we felt then that trash was a bit of an issue.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But is trash? Sorry, I don't know what you guys came up with last week, but did you come up with the fact that trash is totally necessary?
I think so. We talked about I always say TCG, whatever it was.
Well, TOC.
TOC, thank you.
Yeah,
that was an example of okay, no trash needed.
No trash. And but did the experience hurt because of that? Because it didn't feel like it did to me.
No, it was one of my favorite things in the game, actually. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the problem then is that we just kind of got even more kind of entitled. And I was like, oh, wait, I've got to sit through 2 minutes of talking. This is ridiculous. I want to speak to someone to skip something. Because they try to use dialogue to pad it out and try and give the pacing that you would get from a normal instance. Yeah. And ultimately that was nice because it was just an awesome pinata that fell at the right point in that expansion to gear up new characters and lazy people. Yeah. And I loved it. And then there needs to be more of that. I think, cater for everyone, mix it up, play around. And I don't know of any people, I guess, who enjoy massive trash packs.
No.
But equally, if they can make kind of scenario style mini encounters in between bosses, I think that's more fun. Yeah. If on the way to the next boss you've got to put out some fires and stop some cultists summoning demons through portals, I think those are always more fun than just patrols of guards guarding hallways that you're traveling through.
Right. And you can see why they do it. I'm all about
it's a roller coaster.
Well, they want
to
they need exactly. You have to create this space, and in this space there needs to be enough challenge and enough time that it takes to do a certain amount of things or whatever, and you've got to have things happen between this hallway and that way off hallway. And I understand it, and I do think the way the game is structured, I think trash is a necessary thing. There's just a time when there's just so much of it. There's two boss encounters in a wing, and the rest is trash killing.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's a lot.
What I really don't like too is when you're just doing the same thing over and over again. So it's like pull a bunch of guys, now pull a bunch of different guys that maybe have I don't know, one guy has to run out of the group every now and then. Just nothing really changes except for one little dynamic. I don't like that because it really should be everything should be totally different from the next thing. So as you're going through, there's no encounter that's the same. What I hate is when it's just a bunch of rinse and repeat, pulling a bunch of mobs and AoEing them down. That just annoys me. That's literally a time suck.
Yeah.
for no other purpose.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, well, that happened, and then of course BlizzCon's upon us. Terpster, did you get tickets? What are you doing?
Might have some tickets.
Yeah,
I might do.
I might have gotten one.
We might have seen that. That might have happened.
I might have gotten one. We might be. We
might
in the
be
same
might be
space.
there.
Yeah, we might be there.
We might be going. We might be doing some Blizz love.
We just gotta get Dills a ticket. Now.
Yeah, I just need to give me a ticket now.
I'm sure we can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll figure that out.
If only we were very well connected.
Yeah, if only we had some friends somewhere.
And had a podcast where basically everyone who listens
podcast
together.
Hey, what? Hey, that's everyone's doing that. We could do that.
We should just talk about WoW, and we never podcasted.
What I'd hope is that there's going to be listeners out there who did the intelligent thing and bought the maximum, and then they're like, okay, actually I was getting it for a guildie, but they dropped out. And they're like, who could buy the ticket off me? Someone on the instance. Yeah, that's what could happen.
That's how it'll work. There's always somebody who will email us and say, I got 6 tickets and I only need 4 now. So do you want one of these? And we'll say yes. So anyway, I'm looking forward to BlizzCon.
They did really well to get 6, in all fairness.
Yes, absolutely.
But well done.
Yeah, way to go.
That sounds like one of those Nigerian prince scams now, Scott. Already, I'm suspect about this email, and I'm thinking like, hang on, all they need is my social security number, and then they can go ahead and wire me the details.
Like, I only have to send them $1,000, and they're going to send me $1 million. It's crazy.
Is that how that works?
It's crazy. It's like I'm not a mathematician. But that sounds pretty spot on.
That sounds like a good deal for me.
Yeah. I like.
I don't understand numbers, but if I did, then I would definitely do that.
I want to become a mathematician. Sounds great.
It's an ancient arcane art.
Oh, fantastic.
Of times tables, and
it's also the next hero class.
That is the math magician, deep in the halls of Gnomeregarden.
Well, I mean, they added a Hearthstone
and math people.
Why not, dude? Listen, they
got it on in a big gnomish orgy.
They put
now you can play as the new hero class, a math magician.
They put
not enough sums. I don't know how they
listen.
They
put in the what you call it, the Leroy Jenkins into the Hearthstone game. So why not something like that? Why not? You know what? We need to start pining now for a Terpster card and a GURP card and a Dills card.
We're not satisfied with our items now. They have been replaced. They were once best in slots, but no longer are they. Mm-hmm. We are never satisfied.
Right, and this is what I want. Give me a GURP card where
I just have a Henry.
Or a Henry card, right? He attacks for whatever. Just make him a minion card he doesn't have to have anything special.
He attacks and he makes it so that the enemy unit can't do anything in response because they have to obey Henry.
Right, and that's all I'm asking for. Or if the GURP thing could be some sort of stand in the fire kind of thing, like you want to be funny with it, go ahead, make fun of me, it's fine.
And in exchange for these fantastic cards and gifts, we will tell people that Hearthstone is good, and they will believe us because they'll be like, well, those guys don't normally say nice things about Blizzard.
No.
So if they're saying nice things, it must be good.
Of course.
There we go.
Dills, if you had a card in Hearthstone, what would you want its unique bonus to be? What would you want to do in there?
Let's see. Drop its pants.
Perfect.
Dills drops pants. You
causes 4 points of eye damage.
Exactly.
Love it. Perfect.
You've been pokes you in the eye. Actually, is what happened.
Oh, is that what? Okay, perfect. You gross. You are running your lock a lot. How's your green fire stuff going?
I enjoy the green fire.
Yeah,
I like the green fire. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Honestly, nothing changed except that it's green, and I love it.
Yeah.
How did you find the quest?
What's that?
How did you find the quest?
Enjoyable.
Yeah?
But
was it too hard or was it too easy?
I don't know. Like, there's no quest in WoW that's too hard.
That's it. People have been complaining that the last leg of it, the boss bit at the end, is too hard.
Yeah,
but then I would whine about that. But I'm a pro player, so obviously I don't.
Yeah, so obviously
you don't complain about these kinds of things.
No, but the thing is like, I like having something specific to a class again. I think that we should do that forever. I want a hunter something. I want something to do.
The Hunter Legendary Bow questline was and still is probably the best in WoW ever. It was amazing, and it taught you each boss was a different mechanic, a different way to play the class. It was genius.
Yeah.
The problem is that when they did have them, oftentimes they were kind of marginal and they weren't really that great, and they really need to be kind of epic, you know, like it needs to be like go here, do this, and then fight like a straight up boss, you know, like by yourself. And what they've kind of failed on doing before when they were having these things was actually making that you know, interesting like that. I really did like, you know, when you're going through the lock stuff at first and you had to fight the demons that you eventually then summon. I like that kind of stuff. So I want them to do more of that. And I think it's great that they're kind of getting back to that. So let's see what happens.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I thought it was a great idea. So I've been into that. And then the monk has been just a monster. I stopped playing the monk for a while.
Yeah.
Went back to him. And not only that, but since I'm a panda, I can travel to what's the name of the temple? I can travel to the temple whenever I want.
Yeah.
And get a 200% bonus or whatever in XP anytime I feel like for an hour, and then I come back, and so it's like
you feel like it's easy mode. Do you think it's too easy?
Ridiculous how fast I level on that guy. It's crazy talk.
Yeah.
And then now our next piece or our first piece of news or whatever, it's going to be all the way to 90. It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, you're gonna have some fun with this breaking news. Everybody out there who's trying to still level alts or whatever the heck you're doing in game. In fact, let's just get right to it.
Big news of the week.
Big news of the week brought to you by typefrag.com, the best Ventrilo service on this green earth. Go check them out at typefrag.com. Tell them we sent you, and get your guild set up right with great vent service, mumble service, or even TeamSpeak if that's your brand of fancy. That's typefrag.com. All right, let's talk about, real quick, tickets for day one are gone. We talked about this, or the day one ticket sales for BlizzCon are gone. A bunch of people I know got lucky. We got a lot of tweets from people saying, I finally got my tickets this year. I'm going. We have a call later asking for advice about being a first-timer, which we'll get to soon. Blizzard says this.
You never forget your first time.
No, you never do. It says, if you don't get tickets tomorrow, this is them talking a day or two ago, a second batch will go on sale on Saturday, April 27th. That's this Saturday at 10 a.m., That's Pacific Data Time. So for those of you on the in the Central Time Zone, that's 11 and 12 Eastern.
Pacific Data Time.
No,
wow.
I'm sorry, 11.
I don't know. It's
12.
Good. It's good.
I almost told people wrong. 12 and 1 is what it is, Central and then Eastern.
It is 6 p.m. in the UK, I think.
I believe so, yeah. No, wait. 10 a.m. Yeah, you're right, because here it would be 11, and right now it's after 5 where you are, so yeah, you're right. In addition to an exclusive pre-BlizzCon dinner to benefit Children's Hospital in Orange County, and those will go on sale Wednesday, May 1st. That's the following Wednesday at 7 p.m., also Pacific Data Time. That includes BlizzCon admission. So you do have another chance if you weren't able to get your tickets. I think this is proven to be a good way to do this, the way they do this. And
yeah, splitting it across the different time zones and different days and weekends and normal days, weekdays, if you will.
Seems smart.
You've got it all. It all.
Seems smart for a thing to do. So if you didn't get your tickets, go for it. If you did, well, good for you.
So let's predict now. Okay, new WoW expansion got to happen. So it's worth going.
Yep.
So we'll get to probably play it based on what happened last time.
Probably.
So we'll find out if it's new class, race, where we're going, Burning Legion, who knows. StarCraft, Call of the Void, whatever it's Legacy
You think
of the Void,
so? You think we'll see something?
I reckon we will see something on everything. I reckon Diablo expansion.
Yeah.
And I reckon Titan and Hearthstone and
Hearthstone, yeah.
If there's anything else.
So hold on, let's go back to Titan.
I think it's gonna be huge.
Full on show us in-game stuff, show us systems, show us whatever, or just teaser video?
I think literally, no, I reckon announce what it's called, what it is, how it looks, and then the original, what it's about. I don't think it's playable in any way, though maybe that's the new vision for BlizzCon, to make everything playable. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I would like to see something from it.
Dills, you think you think that's all true? We're gonna get to
yeah. I mean, we didn't have one last year, so I don't see any reason why this year is not going to be ridiculous and out of control. And there's going to be something, for everything. I agree, and I think Titan. We may not see anything, but I think we might see like artwork and stuff like that, but they'll talk about it. It's time.
Yeah.
We've known about it for too damn long.
Yeah, we've known about it for a while. They've been teasing it for too long. Let's just do this. Let's get on this.
However, it may transfer the other news they talk about, so they might want to pace it out. I don't know. Maybe it will come next year.
You save it until the very end.
Because
they did announce Diablo too soon, they said. They announced Diablo 3 in 2008, and it didn't come out till last year, like 4 years later. So.
Oh, I didn't know they. I mean, they as much as admitted that they announced it too soon.
Yeah, they said they announced it too soon. I forget. I think it might have been Jay Wilson or someone. And that's the problem because Blizzard, I think made 3 different Diablos as always, and they kept like being like, nah, it's not quite right. Start again. And it just meant that obviously the game got pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. So they had too long, I think, beforehand.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was 2007 when the announcement happened.
It was the WWI in 2008, I thought.
8? Okay. That would have been February of 2008, so early.
Yeah, no, it was definitely 2008, and it was in June, end of June, in Paris. And I remember it because everything had to be said in French as well as English. So it was like BlizzCon, only they could say half as much because it had to be said in 2 different languages.
Well, as far as I can tell, the only difference between this and the Diablo announcement is they announced it just as early. They just haven't said anything about it beyond that they're working on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
like we've known about it, so whether it's announced or not, I mean,
but we still don't know what it's called.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's called, and we don't actually know from the horse's mouth what it's about and what it's going to be.
What are you saying about Chris Metzen? What are you saying about that guy? Horse's mouth.
Am I calling him the horse?
Are you calling him the horse's mouth? Is that what you're doing?
Oh, okay, yeah, wow. If I say definitely the horse's mouth. Awkward. We should probably say actually congratulations to Chris and Kat.
Yeah, Chris Metzen, Kat Hunter, wed just a few days ago.
Kat Metzen.
Yeah,
we have to. She has a cool name, but no longer the coolest name.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
It's no longer going to get confused with a class in World of Warcraft.
That's Miss Hunter. If your
name is Kat Hunter, though, you don't change your name, right?
I wouldn't.
Well, that's what I don't know, but then
I would not have changed it. I would have kept it because it is such a cool name. It is the coolest name ever.
It's super cool.
But Metzen's cool too.
It's 2013, you guys. We don't.
Right.
It's modern
times. Do you reckon then it should be Chris Hunter?
I think it should be Chris Hunter. Yeah. Go for it, dude.
Chris Hunter. Ooh, that's not bad.
That'd be pretty good. Yeah. Suddenly Thrall's not a shaman anymore. He's a hunter. It's gone too far. You've gone too far, Chris.
You also have to change your class in World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Well, congrats to them. I hope they're having a great time.
Want everyone to become hunters, right, Scott? I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
Of course. By the way,
I'm just my name. I'm gonna be Willie Hunter.
They're yeah, you do. They put some pictures up on Facebook of the ceremony, and they were adorable couple, that Kat Hunter and Chris Metzen. So, congrats to them. Glad you brought that up. All right. Let's talk about patch 4.3, 5.3. Let's go back in time.
4.3.
Let's do it.
Let's get back into Cataclysm days.
No, because the thing is 4.3. What was that? That was when we were taking down Deathwing?
Yeah, that would have been.
That was yeah. I'm trying to think. What was it? Hour of Twilight, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, shooting pulling off big chunks of Deathwing and then fighting his blood. That was great.
Yeah.
That was
all of what?
And I think if we just do a retrospective on it, good time as any. It's really good. I'm just looking through the patch notes. Hunters, Monstrous Bite reduced the target's healing by 25%, up from 10%. So that was really good.
That was great. That was amazing.
And point of no escape no longer affects melee abilities.
What?
So, yeah. So that was interesting.
Oh my gosh.
I like so much.
Yeah. The casting bar for Tame Beast should now always indicate the correct cast duration at high values of haste.
Wow.
So, again, 4.3 always stay, where it, in that place, it's just, ooh.
Yeah, it's impressive stuff. Who would have known how the world would have changed after those few changes there? It's impressive stuff. But in 5.3, which is nearly upon us, here's the big shocker. So everything else pretty standard. A lot of stuff we already know, we've been talking about for weeks, but it has been announced level 85 to level 90 XP is going to be reduced by 33%. Now, you might at home say to yourself, well, Blizzard does this all the time. They reduce XP all the time on existing content, but they've never done it during as a patch during the existing expansion's life cycle before a new expansion comes out. So usually, this would have applied to something like the Kata content, which has already been done, or content previous to that. The fact that they're taking level 85 to 90 content, which is Pandaria, is pretty crazy, don't you think? A little weird.
I guess so. I mean, my Paladin, I think he's level 88 now, and he's just got into the 3rd zone. So, I mean, I don't think that there's a massive need for it. Short of, again, I guess, just catapulting people and their ults through so they can get into the end game raiding. Maybe that's the push, that they're like, okay, screw the quest content. We know it's great. Just level up, have fun. If you want to keep playing the quests, you can do. You get a load of gold. Yay!
Yeah, I don't know. Does it just okay? But who is this serving? Is this serving just people
Everyone.
who are okay? All right.
Yeah, I mean, this is just for everyone who has already leveled through this stuff and now just wants to level in alt because, like right now, it takes a long time. It takes a really long time to get from 85 to 90, and so they're just like, okay, everyone's gotten through, and now let's just let everybody play their alts. And this whole thing was the whole expansion was very anti-alt in a lot of ways. So I think they're just kind of moving in that direction. And they're doing it a little earlier than they usually do. But
and
I'm all for it.
This is a case of them mining data and going, we kind of know what most people have done to this point. We know where they're at and what they've done. And we know that they've maybe got a couple of alts that are, again, talking about a major portion of the population have an alt or two that's sitting at 80-something but not doing much. And they're thinking,
maybe that's it.
Let's clean that up. Let's tighten that up, make it faster, get people up there. But I think that calls most of the shots when they make changes like this. They look at the data and go, 58% of people are hanging out in town too long. What do we do? That's a bad example. But they
create random mobs that spawn in Orgrimmar and kill people who are AFK.
Why aren't you working in Irvine? Why isn't
I know?
Aren't you there?
With ideas like that, exactly. I transformed this game.
That's a good one.
How about you go AFK in the auction house? Tab ban. 2 days. Boom. It's like, there's never a problem with me clicking on a goblin now because, it's all good all the time.
Proof yet again why I like you guys both sick and tired. All right.
But you know what? There's a lot of, I don't know about you guys, but I have, I think 2 or 3 people who are at 86, 87, 88.
Yeah.
And I got to those, I played my Death Knight till like 86, 87. I was like, I just cannot see the end of this, and I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And I just gave up. So, I just think it's like, let's just make that process a little quicker. The experience bar is going to move a little faster, and you're not going to feel so dejected when you play your alts. And I think that's really all it is.
They give 2 different scenarios on how it's going to work, and they say basically if you've got 50 XP out of say 200 XP needed, you're a quarter of the way through. After the patch, you'll have 50 XP of say 100 XP needed.
Yeah.
So your quarter goes to a half, which is great. But it says that, for example, say you had 102 XP out of that same 200 XP needed, so you currently have 51% towards the next level. After the patch, you'll have 102 XP of 100 XP needed, and will level as soon as you gain an experience point. Now, what I wonder is, can this extend beyond the level that you're in? Like, does WoW keep track of my overall XP, or does it just really care about the XP I had at that level?
Yeah, I don't think it does.
Each level it kind of starts again, which is kind of a shame because you kind of feel like with all these changes, I probably have like a level 68 something leveled up back when it was trickier to do, and probably has more XP earned on that character than a level 74.
So you want to just log into him and he's suddenly
jump ahead.
I would kind of like that, and instantly that's going to inspire me to go on and play different characters that I haven't played in a while because
that's interesting.
Instantly, boom. But I guess they don't actually track that. Yeah. And again, if they were a math magician, they could work out. Well, hang on,
work that out. Yeah.
If, we know exactly how much XP that would be by that point.
Yeah.
But potentially it's just they're out of maths. So
that's just lost XP. Yeah. That's actually just lost XP. You've lost levels basically, Terpster.
That's a shame.
By not playing those guys. Yeah.
This is the problem with math. You can get real hairy real quick.
Yeah, I know.
When you're trying to when you dig way down like this. But it is interesting that they're doing this at this stage, and the only worry
they could use Pythagoras.
They could
to find a pie that they eat with Pythagoras.
I don't think it has anything to do with that, other than that's the guy's name, right?
A squared plus B squared equals C something.
Yeah, right. You guys are top of the block here with your math.
If you add up all the angles on the inside of a triangle, then you've got too much time on your hands.
The Terpster theorem. All right, so this is the only worry I have. Somebody's playing the game for the first time. They've gotten to level 85, and they've cranked through a lot of other stuff. Actually, they would have experienced this before this anyway, so maybe it's not an issue. But I always wonder what it's like when Blizzard carefully crafts a quest line, a series of quests to keep a player at a certain level range all the time as he goes. Other than dungeons, which affect things, you get an XP for those. If you're just questing, they've always crafted it so by the time you get to wherever your destination is, you've seen all the quests, you've seen all the content, and you're at the appropriate level as a result. Now, whenever they do these nerfs,
you're suddenly way ahead of that.
You're way ahead of it, so you're like, oh, was I supposed to talk to that guy? I don't know if I even have to now. Do I just go to the next play? I don't know what to do. And it's that, I feel like there is or can be a little disconnect there. Now, players who know the game don't care, but if you're new or you're sort of new or you're just getting back in, or those kinds of things, I think can throw a player off a little bit. So that's the only downside. I think.
But you know what? It's a living, breathing game. It's not like it's not like you're playing a console game where everything's always the same every time through. It's always going to change like this, and so suck it up, new guy. Guess what? You don't have to do that quest. Congratulations.
So console players, send your complaint emails to dills@dills.dills.com.
At dills.xxx.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. You got the new porn name. I forgot about that. Yeah. How's that working out?
It's pretty good.
I thought it was just that it was like you really like Dills and gave him 3 kisses.
Of course you did.
That's what I thought it was.
Brilliant. Yeah. All right. Quick note: the Dev Q&A happened yesterday. It was really just a live chat. I was hoping video or something, but it was just a live chat. Is how it all turned out.
It'd be good if it was video because you just see them like laughing and pointing out all these stupid questions.
Yeah.
Hey guys, look at this guy over here. He wants us to buff paladins. Not gonna happen.
Moderated by our moderated by everyone's favorite community dude, Zirherka Zeragahagam.
Zarher.
Jewish origin. Yiddish. I think it's Yiddish.
Zam. That's it. Zam.
Yeah, that's the one.
Zam. Zoom.
Did a capable job of managing all of that. It happened yesterday. There's too much to sort of cover from what came out of it. A lot of it wasn't very big revelations, not a bunch of things we didn't already know. Most of it we did know. But check out the site for more. We're going to have Paul put up a rundown of what mattered the most from that. But
there's some cool lore stuff in there. They kind of touch on, I liked it. Someone was like, I'm not sure if Garrosh is actually corrupted. And they're like, no, we just think he's a bit of a douche, really. He basically looks at something and is like, how can I hit someone with that? That's like his first thought. Yeah. You're like, hey, Garrosh, look at this new sculpture I have. I made it. It's of Jaina Proudmoore. And he's like, I could hit someone with that. And it's like, well, no, it's a sculpture. It's for looking at.
It's to look at, yeah.
Exactly. He's like, well, it would also make a good mace. I'm like, well, okay, Garrosh, let's just
like, we could attach spikes to this and it would even be better.
And it's just, I think that's his personality. Is just like, they're saying like he even looks at the Shah and it's like, I can turn these into a weapon. He's not that well spoken, but that's the general gist of it.
Kind of has a one-track mind, really, if you think about it.
You know what? If this was all true that you were saying, that would have been a very significant Q&A yesterday. That would have been a huge deal if all of this stuff you said was true. But sadly, not so much. And here's the other thing. It's if you want to know more about like the new 15v15 Battleground, they got pretty deep into some of that. But the thing that really impressed me the most was how much coverage or how many questions got asked about pet battles and stuff, and Corey Stockton was there to answer most of those questions, and they were really good. So that's really interesting. Here's the one thing I noticed coming away from that Q&A, though. If all those guys were literally sitting around a room typing out answers, they were awful quick with them. So there'd be a question. They must vet these ahead of time and write the questions ahead of time, because they would have a question like, how come Jaina Proudmoore's, left leg is shorter than the right?
Sorry, okay.
Or that. Sure, why not? And the answer would come immediately. Like there's no waiting. It just would happen. So I think what
that's like completely the opposite.
You're not seeing it live.
Yeah. Well, I think they just did this ahead of time. And I'm not saying they faked the questions. They were real, but I think the
presidential town hall debate, basically.
Kinda. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I'm never going to answer a question like...
I like that question. Let me answer that question, though, with another question. Would you vote for Dills?
Uh-huh.
Exactly. So really, it doesn't matter what I say.
I'd vote for him.
Oh, in that case, let me answer that question with another question.
All right.
Are you a terrorist? Do you love America and Jesus?
If I am, do they win? Do the terrorists win?
If you vote for Dills, the terrorists might win.
A vote for Dills is a vote for terrorism.
No.
That's what I'm saying.
No, it is not.
See you in November.
Let's see. I'm the most American person you can find.
Let's get to...
He is, actually. He is.
I'm going to break down what we're going to call today the Twitter roundup. And I call it that because I don't have a better way to put this.
So hang on, where did you get the idea from this name? Is it you were just doing a roundup of Twitter posts?
Yeah, a roundup of Twitter posts.
You're like, what should I call this?
I really struggled. I'm still not sure I've picked the right name, but
you like lightning.
I'm gonna stick with it. So these are some tweets that I found interesting through the week by various devs, mostly Ghostcrawler, because that guy is prolific on Twitter. Here's one. I try to do.
Why is none of it like a funny video of a cat yawning or something like that?
I would love that. Of his cat? That'd be great.
I don't know. Does he have a cat?
I know he has dogs. He walks them.
Yeah, but
listens to the show. Exactly. He says.
So can he have a cat as well, or do the dogs? Plus he's really into like fish. What's the fish's natural enemy? That's right, the cat.
So the not rumor. The word is that Greg listens to the show while he walks his dogs on Saturdays, and I often picture or his cats maybe. I often picture him yelling into the morning sky when we say really dumb and informed things, well, he might yell into the sky, but he also might just be picking up poop. So
yeah,
one or the other.
And everyone thinks like, is that the crazy guy who yells at poop? And they're like, yeah, that's Greg Street. He yells at poop. Yeah, he calls it. He says it. I think he says like, this instance is shit. And it's like, is that? Well, no, that's poop. I don't know what he's talking about now. So
this instance is shit. All right. So here's one. Someone asked, I try to do all the LFR instances every week. Any reason why I can't queue up for all of them at once, similar to Battlegrounds? And they answered, and this is a good answer for people interested in this, hoping to fix that in 5.3.
Oh, that's good.
Whoa! That actually is good. That seemed like a really smart thing. It would be great for us because we were, once again, when we do it as a raid team or we do it as a partial group, you have that whole, this is probably taking longer than it should because we've already got this pre-made 9-man and we're trying to go into a 25 and they got to match this up and it just takes in half an hour just to queue. It would be really nice if we do all that at once, get out of there, pop right into the next one, get out of there and pop right into the next one. That'd be awesome. Time will tell.
Well, I mean, yeah, honestly though too, like if you're just by yourself, I just queue for whatever and I just pop into I just logged in, I just want to do something. Yeah. I don't care what it is.
Don't care what it is, baby.
Please give us that. Let us queue for everything.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks a lot.
Why not?
Moving on. Would you ever consider some form of mounted combat, not like TOC?
Not like TOC.
Yeah, not like TOC.
Because that was crap.
But players on their own mounts.
Just press 3.
Like cavalry. He says, not likely. It would be a massive undertaking without a clear chance of success.
You know what? Just no. Let's just move on from this.
Was this a Magic 8 Ball that answered that question, by the way?
Not likely. Ask again later. No, but I mean, seriously, like, let's get off of this. No, let's not fly. Let's not get on horses. Let's just do what we do, and it's fine. Because every time they try it, it's not good. It's this old engine, and everything has to work the way the game worked, and I just don't see it being successful.
It needs a new. That's a whole new underpinning architecture. That's not a thing you just throw into your existing MMO.
No, you can't just tack that on. Now, pet battles, that works. Mm-hmm. Turn-based stuff, that works. Getting on a horse and having to figure it out, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, if you'll recall, back in, I want to say it was promised for BC, I think, the aerial battles. Or maybe it may have been for Lich King.
That was Lich King with Wintergrass. But even then, if you look at it, like if you had like, I don't know, some level 90 tricked out mage, okay, what addition to combat does riding on a mount give to them?
None.
Yeah, exactly.
They have extra inertia on their fireballs. Like it doesn't really make a lot of sense. And in top it's a little bit,
they're imagining, riding into battle, hurling fireballs and stuff, and having it be awesome. But the reality is, you're going to be pushing W just like you are now, and having to hurl fireballs. It's not going to look as awesome as you think.
Short of like casting while moving.
Go get on a camel and whatchamacallit, and you can cast while you move. It's great.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right. Yeah. Then we got one. Adding a section to the game section of the in-game browser about recent hotfixes would be neat. Yeah, we like that idea too, says Blizzard. Says the Magic 8 Ball.
I'd like also a tab on there that I can load Reddit up on. That'd be good.
Would you like that?
Yeah, and Wowhead.
So what you want is an in-game browser.
The internet in my game. Yeah.
You want an in-game browser that literally lets you go and search things and Google things and go to pages.
Well,
and
don't keep it.
Go to dills.xxx.
Right. For all your hot donkey man on donkey needs.
By the way, if you have that in-game browser, do not turn off safe search and then search for William Gregory or Willie Gregory. Just
Really?
Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it.
Hold on.
Really?
Doing it now.
No, don't do it, Scott.
Gregory.
Willie Gregory.
Willie Gregory. Safe search off images, right?
I believe
Always
so. Yeah.
images.
I'm just
Always.
getting a bunch of Willie Nelson pictures.
There's a new guy now. Well, there is a porn star named Willie.
Oh no, that's why. It's because they base it on your search history.
Oh,
That's why.
Willie with a hold on. Willie like Willie, like not Willie, like Willi or Y, right?
Maybe William. Oh, it's William. There it
William
is.
Gregory. Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
found him. All right, done.
There he is.
I'm out.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I'm at work. Cool.
Fantastic.
Right.
Not safe for where I'm at. All right. Let's see.
W.
Disabling auto. Oh, this is interesting. Somebody said disabling auto follow in Battlegrounds has only hurt the multi-boxer. And they were quick to reply, the problem is when multi-boxers are having fun in PvP, everyone else often is not.
Sounds almost like a proverb as well. I can imagine like Chen reading that. Oh, the problem with multi-boxers are having fun in PvP. Everyone else often is not.
It does sound like that.
Well, I'm not. What? Yes. I'm not sure if that's just something about Twitter that inspires the haiku, but it kind of works.
Well,
Did this hurt multi-boxers?
Well, in a round, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
in a weird kind of walk around way, this is saying the reason we did this was multi-boxers. If I'm reading under the lines
I
here.
remember when we talked about this, they said that it wasn't multi-boxers, it was for AFK, people going AFK.
Yeah.
And then following you. And because, I mean,
Fringe benefits.
I'm sorry, my understanding is that multi-boxers just all walk together. They're not actually following each other because they have to cast spells and stuff.
No, but you often drive one character, have the other set to follow, and then you bind the action bars together.
But if
So
you perform an action, though, you stop following.
but then no, you've got it macroed up, so it's
Fine.
always linking back.
Okay, so you follow again. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it feel
I
like...
have no experience multi-boxing, so I
But
don't know.
this
I thought-
comment seems like, to me, it says, yeah, that maybe wasn't our primary reason, but that's one of the reasons. You know,
Yeah.
like that.
I thought, you just tell all of them, walk forward at the same time. I didn't think that one was on follow.
You can do that as well. You can send the same command, but normally it's a follow command.
You know
At
what
least how I use it.
You know what I call my underwear drawer?
The follow command,
Multi-boxers.
multi-boxes. Ah,
Yep. That's what I call that. Pretty bad joke.
it's not bad. It's not bad.
Moving
It's not
on.
bad. I might
I went
put
in
that
there
in my
just for that, didn't you? And you're just waiting.
It was a long way to go for that dumb joke. All right, check this out. Are you happy with Death Knight's rune enchanting? They asked. They said,
I'm not.
They said, no, we've had a long-term plan to fix it, so they're going to revisit it at some point.
It should
You know what would
be
be really cool is if you could travel back to Ebonhold every time you had to do it. That'd be amazing.
That would be amazing. I would really like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Can they put that feature in the game, please?
Yeah, you want that?
Go back, and then also, can they put it in the game where once I'm there, there's no quick way to get back the way there is for all.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Freaking teleport somewhere. What's up with that?
That's awesome. All right, here's one more. Do you think that all players are able to play 12 hours a day to get better gear? I don't have so much time. And they said,
Wow, that's a snarky question.
you know, it's the one thing I noticed about most of the tweet questions. They are all very trolly. It's not. They could have just
I've got
said,
140 characters, Scott. I haven't got room for niceties.
but you could
I've
say,
only got room for niceties.
right? You only have room for nasties. But you could have said in this particular case, it seems like I only have, a couple of hours a week to play, and some players have a lot more than that. Do you feel like I'm at a disadvantage gear-wise? That's a good question. It's actually a really good question, but it's always this snarky, passive-aggressive, backhanded thing that everybody does. Now, somebody on Twitter, I put out there, I said, do you guys notice an uptick in how nasty the questions are, how trolly the questions are? And the guy wrote back and he says, it's because the questions are being handpicked and they're garbage and no one's really asking good questions. So even his thing was a trolly response. It's like, I don't understand why people think if you don't just ask a good question, you don't have to tack on some kind of like sarcastic, sardonic thing at the end.
Go suck it. Yeah.
I like to open all my questions with "Hey jerkface." So I go, "Hey jerkface."
Yeah.
Do you think all players able to play 12 hours?
That really breaks the ice.
It's even better though. Prefix it with no offense.
Yeah,
Hey,
no
jerkface.
offense. Hey jerkface. Yeah.
And that way, if they say anything back to you, they're the douche because it's like, dude, I said no offense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say,
Why-
look, no offense.
Why are you taking offense,
ugly.
jerkface? The same
Having
no
said
offense
that-
still counts.
All right. One last note. Ghostcrawler tweeted the following, and I thought it was interesting to the conversation. He says, "When I said
I am eating a sandwich," and I was like, "Really? Cool."
Yeah, I know that's always a good info. When I said not enough direction at 90, I meant you probably want to get better gear, but weren't sure how or where or what in what order. In other words, where to go. So it's important for a call we have coming up here in a minute. But it's interesting that they.
I think this is him. He's still pushing for Krabby, the April Fools. You know, the little helpful crab thing that comes up. And it's like, oh, hey, I see you're at level 90. Do you want to get a new helm? You know, that's what I think he wants. So
he's pissed every year that everybody treats it like a joke, but really he wants that in the game.
It's a beta test every April, and he wants to make that a thing. That's what it is. He wants to add direction.
That's Titan.
It's going to happen.
That's Titan right there. You watch. That'll be Titan.
That's Titan. That'd be amazing.
All right, let's get to some town criership.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Why, it's the town crier.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Town Crier. It's where we take your emails and your calls, and it is sponsored by Doghouse Systems. DoghouseSystems.com for the best in-home gaming rig requirements. Use Henry for double the memory, as we like to say. It's an awesome rig. I just got a new one. I can't say enough about it. I'm running everything on high. We talked last week about how Laura Croft's hair looks now. It's amazing. Anyway, go support these guys at DoghouseSystems.com. Get your next great gaming PC.
I'm sorry. You're looking at her hair?
Dude, you
I don't
should
buy
see
that
it.
for 1 second.
It's the tech.
On her head.
It's this tech you
Make it weird.
need. You need a fancy video card to see it, but it's the most realistic hair I've ever seen in a video game.
She might as well be bald for all I know. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All
You're
right.
just looking at her breasticles.
I'm looking at her face, Scott. Jeez.
Think about it, though. A team of people made that. Like, that wasn't just that wasn't like a picture. That wasn't nature. That was a team of people slaved for thousands of man hours and lady hours.
Yeah.
And they made that. That's a craft. She should be called Lara Crafted, not Lara Croft. Because
wait,
that's
Lara?
what it
Is it Lara or Laura?
Lara.
Lara. Okay.
Yeah, you know, like it has been ever since the dawn of ever.
Okay, fine. Here in the United States, we say Laura.
Yeah, you say everything wrong. I know.
Yeah,
it's fine.
All
it's
right.
fine.
Good.
I'm sure your aluminum MacBook
Look,
is.
You speak English, Terpster. We speak American. Okay.
Yeah.
Two different languages.
I say aluminium. Come on now.
That's right.
Every time, son, let's go gather aluminium cans and turn them in.
Let's go recycle these aluminium cans.
Yeah, exactly.
See, that to me just sounds normal. It doesn't even sound like you're mocking me. You're just like, well done. Good job.
All right, well, let's get to these calls. We got a call here about where to go after hitting 90. By the way, you can you can participate in the show by calling us at 801-471-0462 and leaving a message, 801-471-0462. A note that the shorter it is, the more likely it is to be played on the show, or you can email your attachments to theinstance@gmail.com. Here's the call about what to do after 90.
Hey guys, this is Mongo Jerry from Argent Dawn. I play a Night Elf Hunter. But when Mist dropped, I dropped everything and rolled a monk and leveled it up all the way up to 90. I was the first monk to hit 90 in our guild. And after that, I was kind of burnt out. And after the rush of the leveling and hitting endgame and getting my mount and stuff, I kind of got burned out and took 4 months off of WoW. I'm coming back now, and I am leveling up a shaman healer. And now I'm kind of at the point where when it hits 90, I'm not sure exactly where I'm supposed to go.
All right, so it sounds like he's working at a Chuck E. Cheese or something over there.
I kind of like it.
That's
Just
all right.
children around.
I'll be honest, I didn't actually listen to the question. I was just listening to the background noise.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping you're going to summarize.
Yeah.
I think there was a kid who was hungry.
It sounded
in there
like it.
somewhere.
More pizza,
so
Dad.
feed that kid is the first thing.
So it sounds like he's like what we were talking about earlier and what Greg touched on, which is when you hit 90, you really don't know exactly. You know, there's a bunch of guys telling you to go farm things and do stuff, but where do you go, Dills? Where's your first?
Well, there's a lot of
action?
players who are like this. They level up, and then to them that feels like the end, and then he moves on. He levels a new character. So he stop doing that. First of all, congratulations on getting away from your Night Elf Hunter.
Yeah.
That was a huge win for you when you stopped doing that.
Big time.
But I mean, seriously, we'll get to 90 on a character and then continue to play that character. You'll figure it out. I know that sounds kind of like not helpful advice, but you can't just move on and then figure it out that way. You got to just run around town. It'll happen. But basically, it's time to start doing instances and raids and stuff and dailies. So do that.
Yeah, you concur, Terpster. What do you do at 90?
I go and roll another character, so I'm not the best example. The problem I have though is because I've got main characters that I log in and I farm with, and I literally farm now. I don't farm mobs. I farm vegetables.
Farm farms.
It's just literally time for me. I don't think I ever really have enough time to jump into anything serious, and so my only option really is LFR, which is an option. But it's just one that I don't really exploit as often as I could, I guess.
LFR has never really been a big deal for you, as best I can tell. Since that has been out, I don't see you rushing off to run LFR very often.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean it's okay. It's good fun.
But
to be honest with you, the nice thing, when I'm on Earth and Ring, there's normally enough people out there that you can just do a normal one. Yeah, having to do LFR.
Yeah, that's true.
This guy also said he was in a guild. So if you're in a guild, you should be able to find other people in your guild who are also 90 and go and do stuff with them. At this point too, once you get to 90, just hit the I button, right?
Right.
And queue for stuff. Just scenarios, then 5-mans, then LFR.
He literally means the I button, folks. If you haven't done it, it's a little eyeball there.
Yeah. You have a little eyeball on your keyboard, right?
Yeah,
I have one.
Everyone does, right next to the tilde.
But I mean, just queue for stuff, dude. That's all you got to do at this point. You don't even have to find where to go.
Yeah.
You just sit there on your butt, on your big fat monk butt, and and just
your easy mode monk butt.
And just wait for queues to pop. That's all you got to do. And battlegrounds too.
Yeah, of course. PvP. All right, PvP is a good way to go. I agree with that. That's a nice change of pace, especially if you're burnt out on the whole leveling and grinding thing.
Yeah. So hit the
question number 2: advice for first timers at BlizzCon.
Hello, Scott, Dills, and Terpster. This is Isaac from London, and less excitingly, the Emerald Dream podcast. And I have a question about BlizzCon. So I've always wanted to go, and this year might be the year. And with that in mind, I was wondering if Terpster could give us folk across the pond some tips about how to get there, how much one should expect to pay, that sort of thing. And then more broadly, from all three of you, any tips for first-time BlizzCon goers would be lovely. What to expect, what to bring, that sort of thing. Do keep up the good work, guys. We love you immensely, and speak to you in the future.
Okay, he's from your part of the world there, T.
Yeah,
I think you should.
Word that guy said.
Yeah, and you should have more, probably better advice than any of us.
I have no idea what that is.
Because he's coming from your direction. So what does a person in the UK do to prepare, to do what?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a holiday, really. So, I mean, I don't want to be your mum, but basically what she would have told you to take on holiday, an extra pair of underwear in case you wet them. Past that, in terms of what it costs, well, it's a frightful amount of money, but it can be worth it depending, who you fly with and
pounds,
where and stuff.
Though.
So in pounds, normally it works out about... I'm trying to think now. I think it probably collectively about £1,500 to £2,000
to fly. That's just for your flight,
hotel and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly.
How much in euros?
How much?
In
what?
euros, probably about the same.
Yeah,
probably about the same. Okay. I don't really know what they are at the moment.
Australian dollars.
Yeah,
Australian dollars. You're probably talking about 3,000 Australian dollars.
Dollars? Yeah.
Dollars. You not been to Australia?
Bruce? What? Bruce?
They have dollars there.
Have you been there? Really? You've been there? I didn't know you'd been there.
I've never been.
Australia and America are best friends. I don't know if
really. I've noticed that actually. Yeah. What's that about?
Well, it's the thing about it's the Queen's. It's her prison colony.
Yeah. So they hate you guys just like us.
Yeah, they can't stand us.
Oh no! That actually makes a lot of sense now. Actually, you say it out loud.
So I'm here to tell you though, it's about
the best
two.
Thing is though to team up though.
Right.
Is when I go out, I end up sharing a room with a lot of other smelly, sweaty men. Well, swelly. That's what we call them. Swelly, smetty, swelly, swelly. Smelly, sweaty men. Yeah. And you can go halfsies on rooms. To be honest with you, pretty much everything next to the convention center is booked up now.
Yeah.
So your rooms will be
It'll be a
cheaper
few blocks
because
away.
they will be a few blocks away. Exactly.
Guess where I'm staying.
The Hilton?
Nope. I am staying in a. We have a timeshare now. Mostly we use it in Vegas, but somebody passed down, a family member passed down a timeshare to us that are everywhere, and there's like 2 of them within a couple of blocks walking distance of everything in Anaheim, and we got one of those. And it's awesome.
Did you get it
Very
for
cool.
November then?
Yeah, we did.
Wow.
Yeah, we're all set. We did it now because if we don't, even that would be gone soon if we didn't get on
Yeah,
it. So.
You know what you should do is if you don't have a room now, stay at Disneyland.
Yeah,
Why not?
See, why not?
Disneyland is the best thing. And then what will happen on the Sunday after BlizzCon, everyone comes to Disneyland to have DizCon, which is everyone's favorite BlizzCon experience.
I got to check my flight. I don't know when I leave. I keep doing that.
Don't
Where
leave,
I
Scott.
mean to
Hey.
do that, and then I fly out.
Yep. It's an embarrassment, Scott.
I know it is.
Yeah.
And we're all
Spare
gonna have that nerdtacular smell still in November.
That's true.
So
That's true, actually.
All right,
Wow.
Scott, what does this guy have to bring with him? Anything special?
here's what I would say: bring yourself, bring a bag full of stuff. I would make sure you got a camera or phone that takes good pictures. Make sure you bring a Sharpie if you want to have somebody cool sign something in a moment's notice, like your shirt or something.
Sure.
If you want to have, you want to make sure now there's
shoes.
Comfortable shoes is a big one. I would recommend Clark's brand shoes. I think they're fantastic for walking around.
Other brands are available.
Yes, of course. New Balance also good. No one's sponsoring the program.
Again, other brands are available.
Right.
But I know
If you don't have the hand sanitizer in the bags this year, you want to maybe get some of that on your own. You don't want to be passing around some plague at the event. And sunglasses, so that when you see the 3 of us standing together, you're not blinded by the brilliance that is the instance crew standing in one place. Those are the things. But I mostly just bring yourself and your happy face and your excitement for the content, because you're going to be well pleased. It's going to be great.
Exactly. And then past that, for flights, because you're coming from the UK, you want to give yourself. I normally try and get in on the Wednesday or the Tuesday, and then fly out on the Monday.
You don't want to be jet lagged for the day. Yeah.
You need to enjoy the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I get in there on Thursday a good 24 hours ahead of time, just so I can. There's parties that night and stuff, which I'll pop my head into, but mainly it's so you're not just even me, where I'm only changing a time zone. I don't want to. You don't want to feel rushed and feel like all this stuff is happening to you. You'd rather kind of be in charge of yourself. So
now, I don't know about this year, but when I went, iPads were not allowed inside. So if you're trying to bring one of those in, you got to sneak it in.
They let you do it in 2011. There were guys all over the place with iPads openly and stuff. So I think you're okay now.
Okay, good. Also, breakaway pants, because you never know.
Definitely.
When you need to just take your pants off.
Yeah. My favorite thing still is with the guy who drank too much the night before the main day, I guess, the first day, and just proceeded to work his way to the question and answer desk, where they had like Blizzard employees rotating in and out answering questions for people on the floor. Proceeded to walk over there and Ralph all over everything.
Sweet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Classy
that
stuff.
Wasn't me. I would remember that.
Yeah.
In fact, I do remember that. We were there. We were chatting to Randy.
Yeah, we were there at the desk, and it had just happened.
That was brilliant.
That was pretty good. Pretty good. That guy will never forget his trip to BlizzCon.
All of these fantastic memories, they're all flooding back.
Yeah. If you're going to drink too much the night before, do it with a pro like Terpster or myself.
Yeah, I will pace you. I will be like,
we won't let that happen to you.
Your pace throughout the race.
Dude can hold his liquor, man.
Setting the miles.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
It's impressive business. All right, let's got a couple more here. Let's do this one.
Hi all, 2 quick media-related points. First, I heard Scott on This Week in Tech with Leo Laporte, and Scott rocked it. I'm going to have to start listening to more of Scott's non-gaming shows. My dad knows who Scott is from AppSlappy and Twit, so I really like having that shared interest with him. Second, what do you all, and Dills in particular since he's the PvP guy, think about Blizzard's increased Twitter presence? Holinka has started tweeting recently about PvP, and the tone of the PvP community in a few short weeks has turned around like I never thought was possible. The dude's listening, commenting, showing that he's following top PvP streams, and he's just generally showing that the PvP community has a real advocate. Love the show as always.
Makes sense to me if they're talking to players more via whatever the thing is, whether it's Twitter or Facebook or something else, wherever people are gathered. It seems like you're going to build, better trust and better mutual understanding and all that. I think Blizzard's embraced this.
Well, this is the beauty of Twitter is it's straight up access to people that you did not have access to before. Right. And, I can tweet at, celebrities, and they'll tweet back, and they'll actually answer that that specific tweet and stuff. So,
but Morgan Freeman.
No, he'll never answer because it's not actually him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's been kind of a feeling from the PvP community for a long time that they're kind of the redheaded stepchild, if you will, of WoW. Like, well, we'll fix it for you guys, but really our focus is PvE, and they've always kind of felt like. And then of course the PvEers feel like, well, they got to balance PvP, so now my stuff doesn't work. But it's always been like kind of a back and forth. But I think the PvPers always felt a little bit more sectioned off, I think, from the rest of WoW. And so I think he definitely makes a good point that now you're seeing a lot of response back, specifically about PvP. And, I think they're feeling a little bit less like that. So I think it's cool. Everyone should be just WoW players. We shouldn't be sectioning ourselves off like that.
Yeah, no racism. Only love. And
don't be racist against me because I'm a PvPer.
Come on now.
Yeah, just because I shoot you in the face sometimes.
Yeah, no, as much as I use Twitter as a really important tool to connect with listeners and fans and stuff, and Blizzard has learned pretty quickly that I think this is the way for them to go, and it's not really just about Twitter, it's just about channels of communication.
Yeah,
this is a good one. So,
by the way, I'm thinking I'm gonna just put this out there. A lot of people have added me as Facebook friends that I don't actually know, but they're friends with you two guys.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about cleaning that up. So if I defriend you on Facebook, I just want it to be people I actually know in real life. So if you meet me at Nerdtacular, then let's do this.
Yeah, hook up, say hi. I
think I want Twitter to be more of that, and Facebook to just be people I actually talk to on a regular basis.
I did this, and I now don't accept Facebook friends, even if I know them. I'm done. And I was gonna clean it up until I started playing a lot more iOS games.
Yeah.
And there's games like Candy Crush and stuff where I get sent lives from people, and I'm sitting on like 50 lives at the moment, just waiting for me to redeem them. Like it's saving me a fortune. So. That's the route I'm going down, of just using them purely.
I'd have to drop thousands of people. Like, I don't know if I can do it. Like I've let it go too long. I feel like the beast is out of the can.
You could turn it into a fan page, Scott.
I could do that,
and then you could make a new one.
Well,
like the Phoenix born from the ashes.
Yeah,
you can follow somebody if you want to follow them.
Oh, that's true. You just can't comment or interact or whatever. Oh, see, maybe. Okay.
I just don't want people to get offended when I drop you.
Yeah, don't. You've heard it here first. He's giving you a warning. Fair warning.
It's gonna be awkward though if you either me or Scott are gone. Yeah.
Well, no, you guys, I know. And there's a lot of people from Nerdtacular and stuff that I actually do know. I've met you. I've said hello. Those people I'm not gonna not be friends with. I'm just saying, people I don't know who I've never met. Sometimes they pop up in my feed. And I'm like, who is this? And I got to remember. And then I got to look at it, and they're friends with Scott and Terpster. Okay,
yeah,
that's why.
Okay, I'm down with that.
That's why something so terrible.
Let's see. Oh, one last one. Embarrassments outside of the game. I got a great little tiny story to tell you guys after this one. So here you go.
Hey, Innocence Crew. This is eFinkG4 from the internet. Here's a fun little question for you. Have you guys had like some outside WoW embarrassing moments? For example, I got a text message from my brother that says, "Hey, I just saw a guy out of the corner of my eye standing underneath a red sign. I thought he was a nearby enemy. I've been playing too much WoW." Have you guys had any experiences like this? Share. My girlfriend asked me one day, "Where are you?" on the phone. I said, "I'm flying around Ice Crown." Ugh.
That's a terrible one.
Wow.
So I can tell you guys a funny little story. So it isn't exactly where I'm like, this reminds me of something or whatever.
Let me guess. You were out in the wilderness. You killed a bear. You skinned the bear, but it actually aggroed all of the bears in the wilderness.
Right, he didn't disappear when I cut into him. He just bled and
just bled out.
Oh, it was horrible. I couldn't get rid of the body. Dark. Yeah,
exactly. And I ended up with leather scraps as well. It's like, that's a level 50 bear. What the hell?
Video games did not prepare me for what was to come there. So here's what happened to me. And you could make jokes all the time, like, man, standing in this line at Walmart is like queuing up for LFR. You could do that, but I'm not doing that.
Don't do that.
Here's what happened to me.
Don't do that.
I'm in the doctor's office yesterday. I was there just for a checkup, just routine,
you all good?
physical. Yeah, everything's all good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've lost
some weight.
prostate?
I lost
Yeah,
some
did
weight.
you put a glove on?
No
or
finger
what?
in the bum. Nope.
Okay.
None of that. Nope.
Oh, you missed
Well,
out.
you know, you are of that age, Scott.
Well, he put his whole foot up there. Was that normal?
Oh, okay,
That's
good.
well,
Is that
That's
normal?
a really
or-
thorough check.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's because Scott couldn't afford the medical bill.
That's the new thing they do. So he goes.
Thanks, Obama.
I'm in there with the the nurse who's taking all my info and asking me questions, taking my blood and doing a
She a vampire?
blood pressure. No, she's normal, very nice, lovely girl. She's probably, I don't know, 23 or something.
Yeah.
Perfect age for Terpster to take advantage of. So she's in there, and she says to me, "So what do you do?" And I tried to explain what I did, and she goes, "Oh, that's really interesting." And I didn't get real specific, and she goes, "My dad's into computers, and he's trying to write a video game, but he doesn't even have time for that because he plays this World of Warcraft a lot." And I said, "Oh, that's interesting. I play as well." And she goes, "Yeah, he plays it too much. He kind of neglects everybody, and it's just kind of a big problem in our family." And I said, "Oh, that's interesting." And she goes, "And what is it? You said you do podcasts?" I said, "Yeah, I do." And she goes, "He listens to this one about that game, and it's got these 3 guys in it, and one of them's from Britain. I don't know the name. She says.
Wow.
She goes, but
Wow.
and it's clear what she's talking about. And
If
she
I
goes,
met them, I would kick him up the bum.
so I said, "Oh, that's interesting." And I'm not copping to it yet. And
Hey, you're like, yeah, I'm not adding up to this. Yeah.
she goes, "I don't know how he does it. I don't know how you listen to something where it just talks about the same game you're playing. I don't understand how anybody." And she's going like all deep into it. And I never had the guts to just go.
Did she mention that she was a fan of the British guy?
No, she didn't.
She didn't leave a number
didn't.
like in case of any further medical emergencies.
No.
It wasn't like just in case. In fact, if you might meet the British guy if you play that game.
Right.
If you do.
I should have made a point of it.
Yeah.
I should have said.
Yeah.
I said
you said, "Oh, I know him. He's very attractive."
I said, "Well, I'm sure the show's." I think I said something like, "I think the show is probably entertaining, cool. It's probably more than just doubling up on the game for him." I'm kind of trying to apologize for it without letting her know that I know what she's talking about. But that was a weird outside the game run in for me, and it was just yesterday, so perfect timing.
Gutter is a tool makes a good point in the chat room.
What's
that? You just let this guy know that now his family thinks he has a problem.
I'm sure they know.
I forgot about that.
They're telling anyone who will listen, and even people who don't want to listen.
That's true. They're telling random people at the doctor's office. So
crap! I didn't even think about that. He's going to hear this.
She can't say anything about it, Scott, because of nurse-patient confidentiality.
Well, and she's not listening to it, so he'll, write in.
But if he talks to her, she can't say anything back.
This guy should write in. He's in his early 50s, I think. He's doing some programming. He's supposed to be a real smart, cool guy. I'd love to hear from him. So email us at theinstance@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you.
Was it his daughter? Is that what
it was his daughter? Yeah, she was a nurse.
So again, just let me know.
She's obviously raised a great daughter.
Yeah.
Just shoot a name across.
Clearly,
we'll figure it out.
Clearly. All right. Good. Fantastic. You guys ever? We didn't really answer the question.
One time I killed a guy and then I looted his body, but other than that, nothing really that weird.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything I've done outside of World of Warcraft, really.
Really?
I don't think I've ever gone outside, actually.
No, this one time I painted myself green and pretended to be an orc.
How'd that go?
Well, it was okay. Yeah. It wasn't too bad. Yeah, just everyone was looking at me a bit strange, and then I had a shower and it went kind of yellow, and so I kind of looked like I had liver disease. But past that, I mean, not really much of that.
Did you say job's done every time you finish something? Job's done. Did you ever do that?
No, that would have been good, but that's actually the human.
Are you sure? I think that's the orc peon, no?
Are you sure?
Job's done.
Work.
Job's done.
Job's done. I don't know.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Exactly.
The
And
human.
then it's like, it's like zug.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. I got that mixed up.
I don't know.
Take that, Alliance. I got you screwed up into my story. All right. Let's move on to what? Drop of the week. Oh my gosh, we're already there.
The drop of the week.
Drop of the week this week is books you should read to better understand the world of Warcraft. And this was a post on joystick.com. Not about WoW, no. Not specifically about WoW. These are books you should read to understand kind of WoW's inspirations, where it came from, where it's going. And they give a pretty good list of what books and why. There's some obvious ones in here. J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, for many obvious
that's the
reasons.
one that's based on Harry Potter, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all Harry Potter. All this is fanfic for Harry Potter books.
Exactly, that's good.
Robert E.
And then didn't he also do Twilight?
Yeah, he did.
That's right. Yeah.
She did.
Tolkien. Mm-hmm.
Robert E. Howard's Conan and the other stories that he's written. There's a lot of inspiration there.
Yeah, it's good.
Fritz Lieber's Farah. I can never say that right. Farud. Is it Fafrud? And the Grey Mosur, whatever it is. The
Grey Mouse.
It says here, Warcraft's bent for flawed characters with feet of clay, even when they command armies and nations, comes from this some of these most famous creations and heroes and stuff. A whole bunch of other ones. More Fritz Lieber stuff. Let's see. Marion Zimmer, the Darkover series. That sounds interesting. Says specifically the idea of Azeroth and Draenor as planets visited by people from other worlds. Let's see. Catherine Kurtz Daenerys books. Don't know what those are. Glenn Cook's Black Company. It's racist. There's a ton of these in here, and so
there's so many.
Yeah, go read it all. It seems like an interesting, especially if you're kind of hard up for some good, like core fantasy stuff, and you want to kind of get a feel for where some of WoW's inspirations maybe stem. It's a good place to start. It's on Joystick. We'll have a link in the show notes. You can check it out. Books you should read to better understand WoW. By the way, written by Matthew Rossi is the article author on that.
The man bear that is.
That's true. And that's it for that. Last week we said we were going to give you guys this. Let's see. I have it over here, I think. Don't I have it here? Oh, yeah, here it is. So, on my new standing desk, I have the World of Warcraft 3 Creatures set, which is 2 Murlocs and a bonus something. It's inside of a Hearthstone.
Sounds like a great setup to a joke.
Yes, indeed. But I have no punchline.
Tavern.
No punchline for that.
And the barman says, "Where'd you get those?" And he says, "Off Amazon. Just search for Mega Blocks."
Terrible punchline. That's the worst.
Thank you.
And I said I'd give this away. It came to us from Mega Blocks. So big thanks to Mega Blocks again for sending this. This is going to go out to a winner that we picked from the show notes comments thread, which is where I told you could enter. A bunch of you did. I picked one at random. Our winner is Redan, Reddan. Redan, assuming your email is correct that you used to post, which I said was a requirement also, I'll send you an email and get your address and ship this to you ASAP. So congratulations.
Everyone else, you've been signed up to weird emails.
You have. That's probably, yeah, now you're on somebody's spam list probably. But
Sorry about that.
Sorry. More of this next week. I got a ton of giveaways. We got to start pushing through. I got a huge spreadsheet just full of them, and they're starting to stack up, and I got to get rid of some of this stuff. So more stuff coming soon, more Mega Blocks and more other kinds of cool stuff. So next week we'll announce a new contest. But again, congrats, Redam. We usually like to give a little love to our friends on iTunes. Do you have yours handy? I forgot to pull mine up. You don't even have UK anywhere.
We'll do it next week.
You know what? Yeah, here's what we'll do this week. Go to iTunes, leave us a review. We love getting 5-star reviews and the comments you leave. It's fantastic. One of the most commented and rated shows on the entirety of iTunes.
I'll tell you what, if you guys in the UK, on the UK iTunes store, if you leave a review this week, 5 stars, and if you let me know what celebrity and or NPC within the World of Warcraft or just the world in general you would like me to read out your comment in, then we can do it.
Fantastic.
So there you go. I currently can only really do me and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, I think Adam Carolla is one of the few shows that have ever beaten us in total ratings. At one point, we were the highest rated show on all of iTunes. And then he came along and
everyone. And was all like, reading out iTunes reviews normally. Well, we're doing it as celebrity impersonations.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
And Rogan's got us beat by a couple reviews is all. The Joe Rogan experience. So yeah, way to go, Adam Carolla, and your dominance of the top 10 iTunes feed. All right. That's it. Let's give a quick thanks to GameTimeZone.com. Use the code INSTANCE for 5% off. Now, let's get out of here. I want to ask a Terpster if he's got anything going on that we should tell people about. Any kind of cool, appearances or performances or anything sexual. We're into whatever you're into, man.
Not really, no. No, not really doing anything at the moment.
Bit of a letdown.
Bit of a dry season, really, I'm afraid.
I mean, you're busy.
You really built that up, Scott, and then
I know.
just stood on the floor.
It's almost as if I knew that would happen. The thing about Terpster is he's one of the busiest, hardest working people I know, and I say that with all seriousness. He works his A off. But if you'd like
and
a chance,
my BC.
Yeah, and your BC. But if you want to meet him and shake his hand, your best chance.
Oh my God, you can do this.
Is Nerdtacular 2013 at Snowbird, Utah, which is happening in July 5th and 6th. Right now, we are currently out of tickets, but we're going to have a meeting tomorrow to discuss opening 50 more because we're getting a lot of
50
more demand.
That's not going to be enough, Scott.
Well, it won't be, but we'll have maybe another 50. And then maybe at that point I'd have to start hiring security guards. So yeah, there's a lot of...
What happens if we just get everyone to sign a piece of paper that says that they don't touch me, and if I touch them, it's okay. And then we don't need to do the security guard thing. Brilliant. And then it saves money, everyone's happy, it's all good.
All right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Let's make that happen. I'll talk to him in the meeting tomorrow. Dills, you got anything cool happening in your world?
Let's see. Right back into the swing of things with the Mediocre Golf Association. I heard that there was a fan of this show who started a Mediocre Golf Association chapter, and if that's true, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And
please send us the book. We would love to read it.
Yeah. But doing Torture Cast is back. It's a giant season again, and of course the Lit Quakes Litcast. We have a brand new episode coming really soon.
Dills,
there's a lot
you're
of
going to be at Nertacular, yes?
Yes, I will.
We should do a live instance.
I believe we should.
Yeah, we're totally going to do something.
We should do that.
Why don't we do it as part of the show? Why don't we do, is there still time? There's still spaces?
Schedule's all packed out, but there's no reason why we couldn't squeeze something in.
But we could do, Dills, we should do one with that.
Whatever, you guys are on some of those other panels.
We don't need that.
You guys are those other friends, and you're on those other panels. No, there will be time for people to square off and do quick little things here and there, and I have a feeling that should be, if all three of us are going to be there, we'd be dumb not to.
How about we all bring our laptops and we play a scenario together.
Let's do it!
Project it onto the screen and we noob up a scenario. It's only going to take like 20 minutes. It's easy. Yeah.
Can we do that? I guess we could do that.
Why not?
I don't know. Why not? Why not?
I wouldn't know.
I can't think of a reason why not to.
Should do a heroic one.
Unless they want me to do it, in terms of like help set it up. No, I'm the ideas man.
I know.
I've done that.
You don't do any of that heavy lifting.
I've passed the ball over. The proverbial ball. There isn't an actual ball. Don't get excited.
Right.
And it's on to them now.
Yeah. All right. I'm in. As we get closer, we'll let you guys know more. But certainly at BlizzCon, no matter who is there, how we do it, we will have another live episode there as well. Because
we should interview Thrall.
You think we should do that? The guy that does Thrall's voice?
Well, we could ask him, but I wouldn't want him to do it as him. I'd want him to do it as Thrall.
We'll probably see somebody like that, or at least like Garash's voice guy. He'll be there. He's always there.
That's cool. Let's do that. Let's do Garash, and maybe if we get Liam along, we get Illidan. Think about the dream team. Like, it's a podcast. No one cares about who it is. They want to hear who it is. If we've got, Liam's there like, I was not prepared and all that jazz, then we can just have a whole show about, with all these NPCs.
Right.
It'd be amazing.
I love it. By the way,
again, just another idea. They're just falling out of it.
Here he is right here.
When I'm not busy making faces at the humans, I'm listening to The Instance.
The voice of Garage Hellscreen.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's brilliant.
It's pretty incredible.
It's good.
All right, let's get out of here.
He's got mad spoilers as well. I bet he's recorded it all already.
I'm 100% sure that you're right about that.
Okay.
All right, well, let's get out of here. Hey, thanks, everybody, for being here. Thank you, chat room. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out and being a part of the podcast today. Totally appreciate it. I want to thank Matthew Oxley for the music. He does our theme. Also, Paul Swickard, who does our show notes, and he's awesome. Forum show notes, archives, and more at theinstance.net. You can find us on Twitter at Instance Show. Also, Scott Johnson, Willie Dills, and the _T. But that last one, you could probably just skip it because he's got plenty. It's fine. Facebook.com/theinstance. You can also find us at frogpants.com with a whole bunch of other shows.
I don't even know how many I've got now. I've lost count.
One more than me.
Oh, wow. I've got 39,000.
Shut
now. Wow,
up.
that's a lot.
Do you really?
Hang on. Let me just see. Scott Johnson. Oh, 35 and a half.
Hey, everybody. I'm on the Yogscast. Scott's on the Yogscast starting today. I'm on the Yogscast.
I remember that, Scott, when I had 35 and a half thousand.
I live in Bristol and work for the Yogscast now. Everyone just go ahead and follow.
I'll give you a job.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
This is how to get my followers up. I'm ready.
Done.
Let's do it. Cool. Frog Pants TV is now owned by Yogscast, and I'll do whatever you guys want. I'll make Minecraft videos.
No, we got that done.
Diggy hole, diggy.
Oh, that's a thing. That'd be good. We need someone to dig a hole out back, honestly.
Perfect. We'll get right on that.
Really good.
That's going to do it, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
The toilets are backed up. We're going old school. I like it.
We'll see you next week for a brand new episode of The Instance.